everyone, welcome back. I have another skincare reaction video for you, and today I'm taking a look at Lucy Hale. This is her 25-step guide to everyday makeup on Vogue. Obviously, I'm gonna just look at the skincare portion of this video, but it looks like she's got a decent amount of skincare in here. You know, what I think is really interesting about Lucy and all of the other girls that were on Pretty Little Liars is that I just referred to her as a girl, as girls. And that's because they played teenage girls on the show, but they were actually already adults. And now, you know, like Lucy, for instance, is 31 years old. It's not old by any means. What I would do if I could go back to 31, I would rule the world. The thing is, I think a lot of people just still associate them with these like teenage characters, but she's at a point where she probably takes her skincare really seriously. She's probably entertaining, you know, Botox and fillers and stuff if she hasn't already. She's just at that point where I think a lot of you also maybe even discover my channel and channels like mine because you're starting to get to that point where you're really interested in skincare and you realize it makes a huge difference in your life. Let's get to it and see what it is that she's doing to her skincare routine. Obviously, this is gonna be a morning skincare routine. That's why I like looking at the Vogue ones too, because with Harper's Bazaar, we get the nighttime routine, and with Vogue, we get the daytime, and it's always really different. I'll leave a link below to the original video if you wanna see it.
Hey guys, it's Lucy Hale, and today I'm gonna give you an in-depth look at my skincare routine and everyday makeup look. At the end, I'm gonna zhuzh my hair a little bit. It's gonna be a lot of fun. So I put my hair in a tight pony, and then I've got these cute little hair clips that don't leave creases. I'm just gonna get my little baby hairs out of the way. And they're so cute, they're mint colored. I'm obsessed with skincare. I'm obsessed with having clean skin. But in the morning, I like to use a vitamin C wash. And I usually like milk cleansers or oil cleansers because it doesn't strip my skin of all the oils that I need. And then you just, you know how to wash your face. Alrighty. And I typically like to wash my face with cold water because this might not be true, but I feel like it shrinks your pores and it kind of wakes me up in the morning. So just give my skin a little shock. Okay, so next.
All right, so there are a couple of things going on. One, she does wash her face in the morning, which is totally fine. If you like to wash your face in the morning, you can do that. Just make sure that you're choosing a really gentle cleanser. This one seems like it's a nice cleanser. I have not used it. I really love Joanna Vargas. She is, you know, just a well-known celebrity esthetician. I was supposed to have done a video with her right before all the pandemic happened, and then you guys know. So that didn't happen. I was gonna show it to you guys on my YouTube channel. So a couple of things to point out about this cleanser. One, it touts itself as a hydrating cleanser because it has hyaluronic acid in it, which tends to mean that it's not actually hydrating your skin, because these are all the things that like people ask me about cleansers. It doesn't mean it's necessarily hydrating your skin, but it means it's not going to strip your skin of the hydration that you wanna keep in your skin. The second thing is that it does have witch hazel in it. I know people freak out about witch hazel lately, but I think there are some things to remember when it comes to witch hazel. One, not all witch hazel is created equally. Some witch hazel is distilled with ethanol, which is an alcohol, a drying alcohol, and so that can be irritating to the skin and drying to the skin over time. But that's not always the case, and I know it's hard to know if it's an alcohol-free witch hazel because it's not always listed, but you can technically reach out to the brand's customer service to ask if it's a certain kind of witch hazel. Two, people don't like astringents, and witch hazel falls into the category of an astringent. In a cleanser like this, it's going to rinse off of the skin, so it's just gonna give a very brief, refreshing kind of feel to it. So I wouldn't think that it would have any long-lasting effect. Similar to, you know, people that don't like fragrance, if you have it in a wash-off product, it's not gonna stay on your skin too long. But then that brings us to the ingredients that they tout the vitamin C for, right? The active ingredients that they have in this cleanser. And I hear people say, don't bother with cleansers that have active ingredients in them. And I always think that that's false information to put out there. I always say, don't sleep on the cleansers that have actives in them. Sometimes that is what you need. Sometimes you just need a little kickstart with the active ingredient. Vitamin C, it might not give you all of that brightening benefit, but it can get it going. And for people that say that they are sensitive to vitamin C, then you can get it in a cleansing form, right? Where you can just let it sit on your skin temporarily and then rinse it off. When it comes to the chemical exfoliants, some people think that chemical exfoliants are too strong for their skin. So when you get it in a cleanser like this, you can really get the benefits from it. And I've even said, you know, just like wash your skin, rub it around a little bit, and let it sit for 5 minutes and you'll get more benefits. If your skin is more sensitive, rinse it off quicker. It's a really good way to get your skin used to these types of actives and get the benefits from them. You know, benzoyl peroxide, ask any dermatologist. They will tell you that they love a benzoyl peroxide cleanser for their patients. And the reason for that is because benzoyl peroxide can be very strong. It can be very drying and irritating to the skin, but it also works really well for acne, especially when it's like teenage acne. It's a great ingredient. So sometimes they'll say, why don't you get a benzoyl peroxide cleanser? And I'll tell you, those cleansers work. You can see the difference and feel the difference. So don't sleep on the cleansers with active ingredients. The other thing I wanted to talk about is that she said that she uses cold water to shock her skin in the morning. And I feel like this is such an old Hollywood secret, is to, you know, like use ice on your skin or shock your skin with some cold water. It doesn't really shock your skin. First off, you don't need to shock your skin to wake it up at all. You don't need to do that. And she also said that it actually shrinks her pores. You can't shrink your pores. It's not gonna tighten your pores. And your pores don't open and close. They can get clogged and then look bigger, but they're not necessarily opening and closing and shrinking and all of that stuff. What it can do when you apply anything cold, even if you take like a cold jade roller and get a massage or something with it, is it helps to depuff your skin. It stops some of that inflammation. If you have like, you know, blood vessels that are turning you like a little bit pink, if you're like flushed in the morning or something, you can definitely calm that down. But it's more for the puffiness and that constriction. But it's sometimes temporary too. So I wouldn't make this a whole thing, you know, making sure that you're using something really cold on your skin. It's kind of like Joan Crawford in Mommy Dearest, if you guys have ever seen that movie. She like shoves her face in a bowl of ice cold water, and it's part of her whole tradition. And then they make her out to be basically a psychopath. So, so there you go. You don't need to do that. Just saying.
I love exfoliating. So I get like a quarter size. That's not a quarter, about a quarter size. And you just kind of massage for a minute or two. I definitely have combination skin, which can be oily and dry in certain areas, but I'm breakout prone. Like I have struggled with my skin. Clearly, this guy showed up this morning. I still struggle with my skin and I'm 30, but I had really bad cystic acne in my 20s. Kind of got it under control now. I mean, there'll be the occasional breakout, but luckily, no more of the cystic stuff. Baby skin, and it gets all the dead skin cells off. This guy was flaking, it feels flatter. So like I said, I still have some mascara. So what I'll usually do...
Wait, she still has some mascara. This is so confusing. I'm so confused right now. Is this her morning routine or is this her nighttime routine? Is this because she still has mascara from the nighttime? Let's assume this is her morning routine. If you have mascara left on your eyes from the night before, that means you absolutely need to do something different with your cleansing technique. You know, if you're not getting your eye makeup off, it might be that you're not even cleansing your skin the right way. And you know, if you're somebody that's dealing with combination skin, acne-prone skin, cleansing your skin the right way is gonna be so important for you. Now that she says that she's got this oily combination kind of skin, it does make me wonder if she's ever tried to not wash her face in the morning. I know that sounds counterintuitive for somebody who is acne-prone, but sometimes it's about balancing your skin. I talk about this all the time, and I hope that there's this theme in these skincare reactions about kind of bringing your skin back to normal, right? And a lot of the time there's so much that we do to our skin and the products that we're using and being too aggressive with our skin that it causes it to go all over the place, and then we're actually causing a lot of the issues that we're experiencing. Cystic acne, I mean, that can be very hormonal and come from the inside out, which is why it's so important to see a dermatologist when you're dealing with really stubborn acne. I would love to hear what she did to get it under control, since she's saying that she actually has kind of figured it out. One thing I will say is, you know, using something like the physical scrub that she's using, I'm not 100% like, you cannot use a physical scrub. I'm not one of those people at all. I actually really like this polish by Lancer, Dr. Lancer. He is a celebrity dermatologist in Beverly Hills. It's called a polish. It really does polish your skin. But there's something you should consider. Sometimes if your skin is irritated and your skin is sensitive, if you have actual active acne, you want to make sure that you're not using something like that because it can further irritate it. And so, you know, she's putting it on and she's like rubbing it around. If you're gonna use something like that, you might wanna focus it more on just the places where you feel like you're really oily and need that extra exfoliation. I would not do it on your active acne though, because that's just gonna further irritate it. And then you saw her like kind of like flick it a little bit. Just be gentle with that stuff because you can see how inflamed it is, and you can see now that her skin is looking a little inflamed there. I hope she doesn't use this every single night. It's really strong. It does make your skin feel like baby skin. I know a bunch of you are gonna probably put it in your car after I say that because some people want that.
After I exfoliate and cleanse, just to make sure everything's off my skin, I do like another swipe. And then I'll just go in there and make sure that I get all my residual mascara off. Okay, got a clean palette. We are clean, now we can move on. Okay. So
first off, if you do have mascara still on, it wasn't the best cleansing method. You would maybe benefit from a double cleanse. I'm also a little bit confused because I thought this was a morning routine, so my head's just kind of like, where is this going? The thing I will say though is if you're going in like that with the makeup wipe to just remove any excess mascara or something, it wouldn't be the end of the world. You had already cleansed your face and everything. It just means that you have something left over, but you don't have to go in and wipe the rest of your skin. For somebody who is acne prone and looks like she can get a little bit red and who likes to, use cold water in the mornings and stuff, I would say skip makeup wipes. You just never need makeup wipes in your life.
So this next step of my skincare routine is probably my favorite. I'm a big believer in LED therapy for your skin. This one is cool. It's by Dr. Dennis Gross and it's portable, and you can see that it has the LED lights inside. So you just press this button up top. So that's the red. That's the blue, and I'm gonna do a little hybrid of the two. And then once 5 minutes is up, we can proceed. I love this thing. So
this is one of those devices that I get a lot of questions about. Do at-home LED devices like these masks work? The truth is I don't really know. I have tried them, I like them. If you are gonna use an at-home LED device, I would use one of these masks or something that actually covers your entire face. That way you actually get in the time that you need to see any benefits from LED devices. When you're using like those handheld ones where you're just like holding it to certain spots for a small period of time and then moving it, I feel like you're not truly getting the benefit that you need because you have to hold it in place for a specific amount of time. I know like those devices are like, oh, like 30 seconds and then move it, a minute and then move it. You just can't really get the true benefits without having it on your face for like 5, 10, 15, sometimes 20 minutes. Whenever I go to my esthetician's office and use the LED devices, I'm under the lights for at least 20 minutes to really get some benefit from it. And we take into account that these at-home devices probably aren't as strong as the professional devices as well. So you want something that's going to cover your entire face, and that way you're not wasting your time, just moving the device all around. What I will say though is I would prefer to use something like this at the end of my skincare routine once I have everything on, because all I kept thinking was, wow, her skin's probably getting pretty dehydrated underneath that because she hasn't put anything on her skin to lock in any hydration.
I have time in the morning. I'm a big masker. I love masking. And this one, I'm not gonna pronounce this right, but it's from ISUN. It's just really purifying. But I put it, usually I just focus on the spot. You wanna put a really thin layer. And usually I just focus on the spots where I get clogged. All right, and now I'm gonna take it off. All right.
Taking a look at the ingredients of this mask, it's a clay mask that's just gonna further dry out her skin. And we're starting to get into that same kind of cycle that we see happen a lot, where, somebody like her who has dealt with acne for a while and probably feels like she's really oily and acne prone and gets clogged pores and stuff. She's talked about her pores, she's talked about acne, she's talked about being oily, right? So we've seen her use a pretty aggressive scrub. I'm not like anti that scrub. Sometimes I understand where somebody wants to get a really good polished feel to their skin. I wouldn't use it regularly, but if you do use a polish like that, first off with all of the washcloths, she's doing a lot of wiping on her skin, which can be further irritating. And then she goes in with this clay mask. I think it's pretty typical to see something like this happen. If you love skincare, you love pulling out the masks, just like she said, she loves putting on masks and stuff, but you can use a mask that doesn't have to be very drying, I guess. And that's really what clay masks do. They pull everything to the surface and then dry your skin out a little bit further. I hate when I see something that I'm like, oh, I'm not really loving this skincare routine, because I don't want you guys to be like, oh God, the drama. I just don't want you at home to feel like this is what you should be doing, because this is the kind of stuff that can further irritate your skin, further dry it out, and then cause that cycle of acne and irritated skin and oily skin. It's a long drawn out way to say that she's not doing this right.
I love a sheet mask, and it's a rose gold brightening face mask. And I like this one because they're like the jelly masks. It's not the paper sheet masks. Oh, please. I love it. It's my favorite thing ever. I like to wear mine for like 20 to 30 minutes. Just let it all sit. Oh, and here's a trick. This is a tool from Jillian Dempsey, who's a makeup artist. All right, and then once that's sort of, you feel like your skin's moisturized, you just take it off. This is really cool. And
so really, I would have just kicked that clay mask that she used and gone straight for this one because her skin already needed that hydration. It needed to be soothed like that. It has the hydrating ingredients, it has the soothing ingredients in it. It probably feels nice and cool to her skin, which we know she loves. So I would have just stuck with that. That's all she needed to do. This is a really expensive mask that you don't need to spend that much money on. There's nothing in this and I'm like, oh wow, you really need to spend over $100 on this mask to get some benefits from it. It has niacinamide in it. You know, I want you to think of these types of masks like just nice serums. They have ingredients just like your serums, and when you put the mask on, it holds it in place for a little bit. And because it's so occlusive, because it's on your face like that, it helps it penetrate a little bit deeper. But you don't have to spend that kind of money for this type of a mask. I love that she took that time to also then get herself a little face massage with that tool. That's perfectly fine, and it's probably great for her skin. It probably felt really, really nice. You get that, you know, that drainage, that lymphatic drainage and stuff, and you depuff your skin. So that was totally fine. This was a great part of her skincare routine.
Cute, I just got it. It's a lip scrub. It's just a little ball thing. You just kind of like, and then there's lip balm in it, and you can kind of just like wipe away the excess. But then your lips are all ready. So cute. Gotta have fresh, bright eyes. And I love Roto eye drops.
So what's funny is it's not that big of a deal. She put on the lip scrub, which is fine to use a lip scrub, and then she wiped it away with her hand. But I'm like, you had all these other ways to wipe your face and then you used your arm to wipe away your lip scrub. I just found it funny.
They are spicy, like it wakes you up. So now we can start skin prep.
I've talked about those Roto eye drops before. They're not spicy, they're minty, which I'm not sure is actually good for your eyes. I've had like comments from people being like, you shouldn't be promoting those eye drops, they're not good for you. And it's because eye drops can actually cause the opposite effect and eventually make it so that your eyes are always constantly red. So you should use eye drops that, for the redness, you should use them sparingly. Only when you really, really need them. It's something that I had to like get myself off of a long, long time ago in my 20s. It's because I didn't want to look like I was out all night partying and didn't get any sleep. I wanted to be bright-eyed and fresh looking. So now she's gonna get into what she's calling the skin prep, but I just want you guys to know all of that was skin prep. So I'm hoping that there's some moisturizer involved in skin prep because she needs it. That's all I keep thinking is like she waits way too long between each of her steps to lock in the hydration. That's the only thing, Lucy. Come on, let's lock it in.
This is one of my favorite cult products, SkinCeuticals, and I just put like 1 to 2, maybe I'll do 3 drops. Pretty oily. Kind of massage it in. This is a new product that I found.
I mean, that's one of the OGs, the C E Ferulic from SkinCeuticals. It's a really wonderful vitamin C, L-ascorbic acid. It's pretty strong, so if your skin can handle it, great. If not, there are lots of other alternatives to vitamin C. But you guys know, I love a good vitamin C serum, and you cannot go wrong with that one, besides smelling like hot dog water, but that's a whole other conversation.
It's a growth factor stem cell serum. It's pretty thin consistency, so you don't need a lot, and it has peppermint in it. And I was told that you can even put some on your eyebrows because it makes your eyebrows grow. All right. So I also said that skin spots are coming.
Okay, so stem cell serums and moisturizers and stuff, I'm kind of in the middle about how I feel about them. And I think the reason for that is because when it comes to certain ingredients, especially ingredients like stem cells, they're not all created equal. There's some that are just really high quality, some not so much. And you just don't always know what the quality is that you're getting of these stem cells. There's definitely a lot of research on how, like stem cells like this can help, whether they're from plants or from humans or whatever, wherever you want to get your stem cells. There's a lot of research that it can definitely help with anti-aging, with collagen production, with just making you have that overall vibrance to your skin again. But I think it also comes down to the quality of the stem cells, and you just never know what you're getting. So it's really hard to say if anything like this actually works. The thing that caught me was that she was like, and it has peppermint in it, and I'm gonna put it all over my face, including my eyebrow area. And all I kept thinking was irritation. You guys know I'm all about fragrance. I don't mind sometimes a nice essential oil and everything, but peppermint, for some reason, peppermint and menthol menthol are the only essential oils that sometimes I'm like, why would anybody want that around their eyes? Why would anybody want that to irritate their skin? And that's exactly what I think of when I think of peppermint or menthol. It's not meant to be something that you're using on your skin. It's just not something that I would be like super pumped about. Like if somebody's like, oh, the selling point is that it has peppermint oil in it, I'd be like, no, thank you. So if there's anything fragrance-wise that I usually steer away from for my face, it's peppermint.
Coming in right there on my nose. Like I haven't seen these until this year. I've started using a color correcting serum just on those spots. This is from the Things We Do. So this I just put on, not everywhere, just a little on my fingertip and then just kind of dab it over the places that are brown. My skin definitely...
So Lucy Hale keeps throwing me some curveballs with her skincare routine. I don't think her skincare routine is abnormal. I actually think she's got a very typical and normal skincare routine, and these are the kind of skincare routines that we see in real life. I'm not talking about you guys who watch the skincare reaction videos, who watch my videos and Hiram's videos and Cassandra's videos, and then just like, you know, you bop around to all of the skincare reaction videos. You guys know that there's a lot going on here, but I think that this is a really typical skincare routine, and I don't even fault Lucy for it. You can tell she's pumped about her skincare products and she loves them. And this is where I'm like, okay, so you don't need all of these steps. Usually I'm like, if you want to treat yourself to a 10-step skincare routine, awesome, as long as you're getting something beneficial from all of those products. And what we're watching here is she's using ingredients and products in her skincare routine. She's like progressively getting like almost worse and worse and worse instead. And these are also products that can probably be irritating her skin, can be causing more of the problems that she's talking about. She said that she only just started seeing these dark spots pop up now, but I'll tell you guys something. Those dark spots have been brewing. They've been brewing for a very long time. And this is what I'm talking about when I'm like, you wanna make sure you wear your sunscreen so you don't get hyperpigmentation. You wanna make sure you're not being rough with your skin and tugging on it because you'll eventually get hyperpigmentation. You wanna make sure that you're not, you know, using anything that's going to cause that hyperpigmentation. And this is what I'm talking about. She only started to see it, but that has been brewing and it's now starting to come up to the surface, and now it's going to be really hard to get rid of. I told you earlier that I think she's kind of like on the attack with her skin. She's putting on this serum and it has lots of different ingredients. There's so much going on with it, but if you like dig deep, you'll see that there's willow bark in it and other chemical exfoliators. And these are all great ingredients for exfoliation, brightening your skin, and helping a little bit with that hyperpigmentation. What she really needs to do is take a step back from all of these products that she's using and be a little bit more gentle with her skin. The vitamin C she was using was great. This would be not such a terrible product if she hadn't already used all these other strong products to exfoliate her skin. And she also just put on vitamin C. Yes, you can use chemical exfoliators within the same routine as your vitamin C, but you want to make sure that you're not further irritating your skin. So not everyone can do it. Maybe she's been doing this for a while and her skin can handle it, but these are the things that you need to start thinking about is why are you putting this on your skin and what does it do? If she's having this hyperpigmentation though, she's been brewing this for a very long time and now it's starting to show, and it can only get worse from here if she doesn't take better care of her skin.
In the summertime gets way more dehydrated than usual, and this is one of my favorites. It's a Kate Somerville DermalQuench. You shake it up. It's almost like a can of whipped cream, and then it comes out and it's super cold. You just rub it in. It's really thin consistency too. Oh, here's a trick or a tip. You always want to apply your products from thinnest to thickest. So start with your serums, then your moisturizers, then your oils. And if you're extra, just don't forget the neck. I always forget my neck. I'm gonna do a little eye cream.
Okay, so you know what? I think the order of her serums and how she's applying them is going to be a question. And I think it's actually really interesting to see this happening because we're seeing her use a vitamin C and then she went in with something that's more of like a chemical exfoliating serum. And then she went in with her hyaluronic acid serum. First off, that's actually okay. So when she was saying thinnest to thickest, you guys know that's how I like to simplify it also. The serum that she used that had like the willow bark in it and the the kojic acid and stuff, it has a little bit more of an oily consistency, so does the vitamin C. You want your active ingredients closest to the skin. That's really the way to think of it. If you want your vitamin C to work well for you, if you want your chemical exfoliators to work well for you, you want them closest to your skin. Doesn't matter which order that they're going. I like to use the chemical exfoliators first, only because I feel like it helps to, you know, like get rid of those dead skin cells and everything and prep your skin for the rest of your actives. That said, that type of a chemical exfoliator, it's not like a toner where you're swiping it on and then potentially manually exfoliating your skin. It takes a little while for these chemical exfoliators to work. So when you use it in this kind of combination, it's fine in either order, just because they're both gonna take a second to work and they're all just going to the same place anyway when you really think about it. The only thing I would worry about is the potential irritation when you're using them together in one routine. I can handle it. I like to do that and it works out great for me. I will say though, I've been working with board certified dermatologist Dr. Alexa Stevens with my brand Naturium, and just in general, we've been doing some videos and stuff, and she's really started to like open my mind to the order of how you use your products. We actually have a video on her channel about this, and she talked about how, you know, like a willow bark or a BHA, because it's oil soluble, it helps to prep your skin and get your pores ready for your vitamin C serum. So taking that into account, I would maybe switch the way she did it. So I would go with that serum first that she was exfoliating with, then put on the vitamin C. But the thing that really blew my mind was I always used to think you have to use hyaluronic acid serum as the first serum so that it can really prep your skin and get it hydrated. And you still can, don't get me wrong. But she pointed out that you can also cap off your serums with your hyaluronic acid serum, and it'll help to bring everything in more. It'll draw it into your skin a little bit more because of the way that hyaluronic acid works. It's very fascinating. You still have to top it off with a moisturizer because it's a hydrator, but it is fascinating to think about the mechanics of hyaluronic acid and how it can draw, because it's like drawing water, right? So it's like almost like bringing it all together. That's how I envision it. All that to say, it doesn't really matter the order of your serums though. That's like if you want to get real technical with it, but at the end of the day, they're all going to the same place too.
Obviously, like skincare and your skin routine and being consistent is just one factor to having healthy skin that you love. Like I love food, but I love food that's probably not necessarily good for my skin. Like I love dairy, I love cheese, I love Greek yogurt. Oh, also I love to like put the excess eye cream on other spots that are getting older. SPF, which you
guys have heard me say this. Eye cream is essentially really fancy moisturizer. Some eye creams can have more targeted ingredients, or maybe, you know, it might seem expensive because they really packed in and concentrated some of the anti-aging ingredients, or the, you know, like retinol in it, or the vitamin C, or whatever it is that you're using it for as a treatment. Because of that, you can actually put it in other areas of your face. I use eye cream sometimes as moisturizer if I really like it. So, you know, she can do that. That's totally fine to do.
Also was so bad about growing up. But you gotta do, that's why I have all these spots. So this one's cool because you can't see it. So you just put like a penny size all over your face. Oh, it's so great, like you can't see it at all. And it's matte, so it doesn't get all goopy. This sunscreen I find can act sort of like a primer. I typically don't use primers. I just feel like I like to let my skin breathe a little more. All of my friends laugh at me because
So I think it's a misconception that your skin breathes, and I am actually proof. At the start of the quarantine, I tweeted this. I said that my skin has not gotten better by not wearing makeup, because your skin does not breathe. It doesn't necessarily need to breathe. And in fact, I sometimes feel like wearing my makeup, just a little bit of makeup, helps keep my skin looking a little bit better. And I don't know if it's because it protects it or like locks everything in, or what it is. Or maybe I take better care of my skin because I know I've got makeup on and I really have to be diligent about cleansing at night and everything. But there's something about, you know, this whole concept of like letting your skin breathe. But sometimes you find that when you stop wearing all the makeup and everything and let your skin breathe, it doesn't make it any better. It's a really funny concept to say that. I've said this before. I just want to let it breathe, you know, like, not necessarily even my skin. Like it's just like a term sometimes that you use, so I'm not really knocking her for saying that. But I do think people believe that they need to let their skin breathe sometime. When you're putting on something like a primer, it's not necessarily keeping your skin from breathing. When you're putting on anything occlusive, a moisturizer, it kind of gives that thought of like you're not letting your skin breathe, but that's not true in the true mechanics of how your skin works, right? As far as the sunscreen goes, you want more than a penny size. When it comes to like using just like a dollop or a penny size or a pea size, this is for your active ingredients that could be potentially irritating. When it comes to your sunscreen, you want to slather that on. Like you want to just head to toe, any of your skin that's showing. If she's starting to deal with hyperpigmentation, she really wants to go for it with her sunscreen. This one is a great sunscreen. I don't personally love it just because of the feel of it. And you guys have heard me say that I don't actually wear primers most of the time. I like a moisturizer as my primer, but a lot of people love this. I know Nikki, my makeup artist, loves this sunscreen. And that's because it has that nice texture to it that does mattify your skin. But speaking of using a moisturizer as a primer, if she's putting on her sunscreen, that means that she is not using a moisturizer. And that is, dun dun dun. I'm honestly really proud of Lucy for wearing any type of sunscreen, because that's like step one in the morning skincare routine, is to get somebody to wear a sunscreen. We just need her to use a lot more. But the other thing is that if she's got this oily, acneic, combination skin, she needs to find a moisturizer. She put on all of these different hydrators, but they're not moisturizing her skin. So everything that she put on, it's not getting locked in properly. And I know that I've said that some sunscreens can double as your moisturizer if they have those moisturizing ingredients in it. I wouldn't necessarily think of this sunscreen as that though, because it's more of a thin film that it has, and it's not really a moisturizer. So it can be protective of the skin, but it's not going to moisturize her skin. She's missing that moisturizer, and everything that she just did, especially after polishing it and exfoliating it and stripping it and drying it out, she really needed to lock everything in with that moisturizer. Now it's just gonna dry it out more, really, is what's gonna happen.
Because I am 100% a lip balm hoarder. And this is my favorite one. It's kind of a cult, has a cult following. It's Lucas Papaw Ointment. And it's just fermented papaya. All right, we're ready for makeup.
I love that balm. It's a good old school balm. You pull it out, nice and occlusive. I'm a lip balm hoarder too. You can use that balm for a lot of other things as well. I'm a little bit bummed out with Lucy Hale's skincare routine. I wanted it to be better. I'm not bummed out with her. Lucy, we could talk. I'll walk you through this and all the things that went wrong. But, you know, like I said, I think this is pretty typical. I really do. I think that this is something that a lot of people do with their skincare routines and the mistakes that they make. So I hope that if you're new to my channel and you're watching this video, I hope that you're getting some takeaways about what you should be doing with your skincare routine, adding that moisturizer, using enough sunscreen, not being overly aggressive with your skin, not overly stripping your skin. You don't need to do any of those things. You just want to come to a balance. You really want to baby your skin, give it what it needs. And when you give it what it needs, then it actually goes back to normal. Trust me, even if you have oily skin, acne prone skin, there's something about just bringing your skin back to normal, and really it's just taking a step back from all the things that you're doing and being a little less aggressive and just feeding your skin with the nutrients that it needs, the hydration, the moisture, the protection with the sunscreen. And then you'll find that your skin over time does get better. I know that there were a lot of things that I said about like what I wouldn't do in this routine, so I want to kind of give her a routine that I think would be a little bit better, maybe even using some of the products that she already has. I'm going to assume this is a morning skincare routine because she did put on that sunscreen. So what I would say is at night, I would hope that she would do a proper double cleanse. Use an oil cleanser. Even when you have oily, acne-prone skin, find the right oil cleanser. I love the one from Caudalie. It works really well. You guys know I've talked about Pharmacy Green Clean. I love the I'm From Fig Cleansing Balm. I've been using that a lot lately. All of that really melts off all of your makeup and it removes it very easily and gently, and it does not leave your skin feeling like it's more oily. If anything, oil breaks down more oil, right? And then I would go in with that same cleanser that she just used, get all of the excess off. That way she will feel nice and clean. She can even use a washcloth if she wants to just get it all off. That's her nighttime routine. I don't know what she's gonna do for the rest of the nighttime routine, but that's what I would say about the cleansing, since she did wake up with some eye makeup still on. In the morning, for her morning skincare routine, because she has this combination skin, and you know, she's really thinking about being aggressive and stripping her skin, and that's the way to deal with her acne. But instead, I would encourage her to give a try to not using a cleanser in the morning. You know, even if you just do it for a week or two to see how your skin acclimates to it. I know that can be scary if you're acne prone because you're like, I don't want to have to go through all this acne and breakouts and stuff just to see, like this little experiment to see if I'm gonna get better skin. But it's worth it because when you stop being so aggressive with your skin, you find that your skin becomes balanced and you don't break out as much. So you take like a step back to move a step forward, maybe even 2 steps forward. The other thing that I would say is if she's gonna use that polish, I would move that to maybe just once a week max. For me, I would only use it like once or twice a month max. Like that is the most you should be polishing your skin. I find I don't even need to really polish my skin at all because I'm using gentle exfoliators, chemical exfoliators throughout the week, and those tend to work perfectly fine for me. But if you're one of those people that loves to polish your skin, this is a good one. It's very aggressive in my opinion, so I wouldn't use it too much. Once a week, max. Instead, what I would have her do is start with some type of a chemical exfoliator. You know, you guys see me, I love using like the Ren Ready Steady Glow Tonic, for instance. She probably would love that. You put a little bit, you know, on a cotton pad and you wipe your skin off, and then that is a really nice exfoliator. It's gonna help with that redness in her skin because it has azelaic acid in it. Azelaic acid is wonderful for redness, it's wonderful for acne, it's wonderful for hyperpigmentation. It's an all around really great ingredient. So I think that she'll like that. It also helps with the excess oil that she's producing as well. It'll help to balance it a little bit. And then she'll feel like she cleansed her skin a little bit because it is that kind of like toner with the cotton pad. I would obviously never let her use the makeup wipes again, so I would just get rid of those and throw them in the trash. After she uses the Ready Steady Glow, what I would do, since she likes to use masks, I would say go ahead and use the rose gold mask that she used. It has niacinamide in it and other really nice hydrating ingredients. It'll help to soothe her skin, which she tends to like. She doesn't have to use cold water because she's gonna have that on her face instead. And she can even use the little face massage tool that she used. That's still great for her skin. So after she takes that off, the niacinamide that's in that mask will help her skin a lot because it'll soothe it. It'll also help with that excess oil production. It's just an all-around great ingredient for her, and that was probably one of the better products that she used. Then I would say go in with that C E Ferulic by SkinCeuticals, wonderful vitamin C. It's one of the better products again in her skincare routine. And then I want her to go in with a moisturizer. Tatcha has their water cream, for instance. It has fragrance in it, but she seems to not mind fragrance and essential oils, so I think she'd be fine with it. I think that's a wonderful cream for people with oily skin, and it works really well underneath makeup as well. So I think she would really benefit from that, and it wouldn't feel too heavy for her skin, but she would still get the moisture that she would need to just lock off everything. All that hydration, all that work that she did on her skin, she'll just seal it with a very nice light moisturizer. It's a beautiful one. And then after that, if she wants to use an eye cream, go for it. Use the eye cream just like she was, and then top it all off with her sunscreen, but just a lot more sunscreen, because if she is dealing with that hyperpigmentation, she needs to protect her skin a lot and be much more diligent about it and use so much more than just a little penny-sized dollop. You need to cover your face with the sunscreen. And then the lip balm was great. So that was Lucy Hale. I hope that this was a helpful video. If you have any questions, which I know videos like this end up having a lot of questions, so if you have any questions, leave them in the comments below. You can find me on Instagram. I'm at Susan Yarab. We have a private Facebook group where we discuss this kind of stuff all the time too. I'll leave that in the description box if you want to find it. I'll talk to you guys soon. Bye.